Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve 2022. Got a little bit of a cold, unfortunately. We are right in the last moments of Christmas Eve. It's about 11:15. So from Christmases of old, we would be at probably leaving for church right now or at church for the Christmas caroling part in preparation for the Christmas caroling segment of our traditional midnight mass. This case, I don't live with my folks anymore. My parents got my own place. I'm by myself right now. This Christmas, don't live with anybody. I did go to church, to my church, at 5 o'clock today. So that's out of the way. I'm on my way to Richmond tomorrow to see my mom and brother. One of my brothers spending Christmas Day there. But my other brother, Pajunt, he sent me a Christmas present, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, with the caveat of, I can't open it until Christmas. I just cut open the box, but I don't know what it is. It's huge. It's big, but it's kind of light. I've been collecting toys in my adulthood. Started when I was 25. I'm above 25 now. I'm over 40 now. But what I collected has changed over that time. Lately, Masters of the Universe have gotten big again, and it's kind of an iconic brand of my childhood Christmases. The most memorable Christmas gift as a kid that I received was the Castle Grayskull when I was in first grade. Now, it just so happens that this box is about the size of a Masters of the Universe Origins Castle Grayskull, which came out 2 years ago. And I think still available at retail, online especially. I don't know. I have a feeling that this is a Castle Grayskull. It's just an inkling I have, but let's see. It's just light. It's about the right size. It's something that I like. Oh my gosh! It really is. Now that reaction, even though here's why I reacted that way. It is Castle Grayskull, but what got me is when I saw Origins, that's what I was expecting, but I thought it said original, which that was 1982. It's 2022. Can you imagine? I'll be 40 years old. But I wanted to get this for myself for Christmas in 2020, 2 years ago. If you know anything about toy collecting, toys don't stay on the shelf for a full year. They do their retail cycles. So you don't get the same action figure typically, or the same toy available early in a year. That same toy won't be available on the shelf later that year. Now, as a kid, it's difficult to describe that to your parents, but as an adult, that's true. You kind of have limited time to get a hold of something like this. Now, the good thing is with the internet, I never actually saw this at a retail location. So with the internet, with Walmart.com, with Amazon, I think this is where he got this, was from Amazon. This is still available. This is incredible. I was thinking about this. Now, it's not the same scale as this guy. This is Masters of the Universe Revelation, or also Masterverse. So these are a 7-inch scale, whereas the original ones are shorter, wider, 5.5-inch scale, but of no consequence, because the whole purpose of Castle Grayskull, it's kind of a MacGuffin, or in the 1980s, that's a Alfred Hitchcock term for essentially the unknown, or a plot device. Now, back in the 1980s, board games were big, like Dungeons and Dragons. So the whole idea was, the reason why this guy here, Tech-Man or He-Man, and this guy, Skeletor, were always in combat with one another, is because they were battling to control Castle Grayskull. And the whole thing about Castle Grayskull, they never really established it, but supposedly it held the mysteries of the universe, and whoever controlled Grayskull unlocked all the powers of the universe. So they very rarely explained exactly what that was, but it didn't matter, because in the original toy line, the whole idea was the way they wanted kids to play with it was that sometimes good prevailed and they had possession of the castle, and sometimes evil prevailed and they had possession of the castle. And there was actually a flag, two-sided flag. One side of the flag carried the bore the colors for the good guys, and the other one bore the colors for the bad guys. And oh man, this is beautiful. Let me show you this. Yay! See this box art here? Just like the 80s again. It's just box art here demonstrates some of the play features. The castle, right there's the castle, the MacGuffin, the plot device. You know the cool thing about Castle Grayskull, or about Masters of the Universe back in the 80s? I guess the toy was designed for kids from anywhere from kindergarten, we'll say 6. They say 6 to 10 or 6 to 12, but it really resonated with the younger kids. So I first saw them when I was in kindergarten, and then by the time I was in 4th grade, I was already checking out of them. So it's really for your young kids. That's ironic because the box art was really graphic, toy, and also gothic. Really medieval. Oh man, check this out. Bad boy didn't want to come out of the box, so I just cracked it. Look at this there. Wow. Look at that. He-Man and Skeletor. See, the whole idea is these guys are not in scale with this castle, but it doesn't matter to me because I wanted this castle as a backdrop. Like a display piece, a cabinet, maybe a table. It was going to be a backdrop for these guys. I'm not going to have any scenes right in the castle because the whole idea is the struggle for access. This is essentially, to use a metaphor, it's like a goal in life. It's whatever you're striving for. Now, the good, and the evil, this guy, they all have goals. But a lot of times in life, what I found is that you don't get so caught up in the end result. Focus on the process, doing the process right, being motivated for the right reasons, and then the end result will take care of itself. So, now they do have more expensive versions of Castle Grayskull. I was planning on buying one from like the 2002 relaunch. But the thing is, they're Looney Tune ridiculous in terms of prices. Yeah, they're at a better scale, but they're going to take up all this extra space. But really, when it comes to nostalgia, there's nothing like the original. And this is an improvement on the original. So this is good. Appreciate it, Junt. That's my brother. This is feels just like the 80s again. And I'll tell you one thing, you think like, well, why does a thick, robust, well-adjusted man in my 40s still collect toys? That's kind of childish. Well, there are a lot of men in my age who collect toys. At first, I thought I was an idiot for doing it when I was like mid-20s, and now I realize, well, a lot of people are doing it. Here's why I do it. It takes me back to a time in life when things were happier and simpler. Not that adulthood isn't happy, but you know, these memories, especially when it comes to Christmas time, the type of childhood you had, the memories you have, the times you spent with your family, those really set the blueprint for how you approach the rest of your life when things get tough. Even right now, I'm by myself this Christmas. I was excited about Christmas because I just had that sense of newness like I did when I was a kid. And a lot of it has to do with, you know, the fact that I'm able to collect these same toys that I collected when I was a kid, but now it's an improvement of these same toys. It's just symbolic. I'm that same person, but hopefully an improvement of that same kid I was before. And at the same time, it kind of links the present to the past. Back to a simpler and happy time. That yellow house on 209 Henry Street. Life wasn't as complicated. I didn't quite have to come up with all these solutions on my own. Alright, I've rambled on enough, but hey, okay. So Christmas of 1982, got the original Castle Grayskull. Christmas 2022, I got the redone Origins Castle Grayskull. Things back to the original, but a better paint sculpt. Alright, guys, Merry Christmas. And catch up next time.